Hey guys, Justin with Lucha Adventures. Let's take a second to talk about the proper fit of a backplate and wing BC. So, I just got this one re-rigged up. Had to replace the straps in it, made a separate video with that. And then I sized it to myself. But I want to talk about what process I went through to get that appropriate size. So, the first thing I do is I get the backplate set. It should be right there, kind of in the mid-height of my shoulder blades is where it's going to wind up being. But I can find the perfect spot by reaching back as far back between my shoulder blades as I can. Now, to do this properly, don't have your elbow out to the side. That'll lock up your scapula and you won't be able to go back as far. You got to bring that elbow forwards like you're swiping your hair, like one of those cool guys on the old 80s movies. Reach back, and then you should be able to touch the top of the hard plate. The hard plate, not the wing. You're going to reach further than the wing. But if you can just barely touch the top of the hard plate, then it's in the right spot. So get that hard plate there, and then get your shoulder strap set. Now you might want a second person to help hold that back plate on you while you then set your shoulder strap lengths. I already had mine run down through here. When I'm initially getting these set up, a lot of times I leave all the waist hardware off. There's no pockets or D-rings or anything like that, making it hard to feed stuff through. So I get that shoulder strap set. I still want to be able to fit one fist in there at least. It can be even looser. I'm gonna splice in a separate video to kind of show a lot of people want to over tighten these shoulder straps, especially if you've got the kind that you can tighten down after the fact. A lot of the more traditional BCs have that, and people over tighten those. So watch this clip real quick.
So I've sped this up to 2 times speed just to get through it a little faster, but here you can see me taking those shoulder straps off, letting them dangle beside me. I've still got that waist strap good and secure, and I'm going through some basic maneuverability to show that I can still make this rig work just fine. So over tightening those shoulder straps will reduce mobility, but it's not going to give you a more secure rig. As you can see here, the rig is perfectly fine without them. That being said, having them properly adjusted does make for nice clip-off points, and it also makes it a lot easier getting in and out of the water. But I highly encourage you to keep those shoulder straps just a little bit looser, give that a try, and see how that works for you.
Perfect. So now we know we don't need to over tighten the shoulder straps. All right, so one fist in there, that's enough. That still keeps it up close to me. If it's a little looser, not a big deal. All right, now that I have that shoulder strap to the right length, I'm gonna worry about the crotch strap next. I wanna worry about my ups and downs of how this fits before I worry about the waist. The waist is easy. So get that crotch strap. There we go. I want to get this, let me angle that down just a little bit here. There we go. I want to get this to where when I pull it to where there's tension, not so tight that I go up an octave, but when I pull it to where there's tension, it's perfectly in line with where that waist strap's going to come through. That's what I want. If this is still way down here when it's pulled tight and my waist strap has to go down to it and then back up, that's going to be way too tight and not comfortable at all during the dive. And vice versa, if I was to have this set up so loosely that even while I'm diving it and have everything snug down, it's just hanging down out of the way, then I might as well not even have it. Which once you've dove with one, you'll see that they do add a lot of stability to your rig when you've got it properly adjusted on you. So I've got this one adjusted properly. That comes up where I want it. The next thing I'm gonna do, see where my buckle is, there's the shiny part. I'm gonna take that buckle and I'm gonna line it up with the center of my body. So I tighten down that strap until it's right there. I like it to be in the center so that my crotch strap ultimately ends up covering it. You can have it all the way off to one side or the other. There's good pros and cons. We can have another discussion about that later. But personally, I'm gonna do it in the center on this particular one. And with that, you've got all your straps set up and everything, so your back plate should fit you properly now. So let's go ahead and put this one all the way on. I feed that right through there. Put it into the buckle. When I tighten it down, the buckle ends up in center body, and then I can just pull and get that crotch strap right over top the buckle and kind of cover it. Now I have not trimmed this to me because I want other people to be able to use this BC and I want to be able to adjust it to them. So I just put a little retaining band up here on the waist strap that I can tuck this right into and kind of keep it out of the way. So there you have that. So, and again, with that little bit of room in the shoulder strap right there, I can freely move my hands around, get my arms up and stuff, and I don't feel restricted. Shoulder D-rings. On both sides, I've got them to where if I put my arms straight out, close my eyes, and then bring them in and hit my thumbs into my chest, my thumbs hit my shoulder D-rings. That's what I want. That's the easiest place to clip. Just pop right there, make a natural habit of it. If you wanted more D-rings and you wanted to have some down here for different purposes, you know, do it however you want. This is kind of the standard starting point, makes it easy. This one's underneath of the inflator, but it's at that same location. On the sides, these ones down here should be kind of straight in line with your side. Now, again, you can kind of tailor it to yourself. The one thing I want to caution on is I'll see people move them way up here forwards, kind of like this one. I'll get to that in a second. But they'll move it way up here forwards, and then when they clip stuff off to it, when they're actually in the water, pretend that that's down, stuff hangs down towards gravity underneath them, and it creates this snag profile. It can get caught in seaweed, it can drag the bottom and muck it up, stuff like that. You don't want that. You want things to be up nice and high and tight. So by having it up here on your side, it's still easy to clip to. It's a natural spot to find. Just boom, got it. But it kind of keeps, so if I have my SPG hooked up right here, my SPG is going to hang like right there. It's not going to be down below me. So I've got one of these on each side. Now these are actually even slightly further back, not by much, but just a tiny bit, because they're helping hold that weight pocket back as well. And I wanted that to be as far back as it could fit, just to keep it all nice and trim and out of the way. But they're still close enough on the side, they can still be hooked to. This one right here, this is for that pony bottle. So it's going to be to the side if looking from the front, to the front if looking from the side. Hope that makes sense, but 45-degree angle if looking from the top. That's going to be my attachment for the pony. Then I can roll it up. And then I have the bungee. I have it tucked out of the way right now, but there's the bungee that would be used to attach that on. I have a separate video showing how to rig that and how it works, but it's a great way to have that little pony bottle with you, and it's very much so out of the way if you're not using it, so I just throw it on the rigs. Even students who aren't going to need it, they don't even realize that it's there. It doesn't get in the way. So there you have it. That's kind of the basic format. Everything fits well. I can lift my arms, drop my arms, get off. I don't feel like these straps are falling off, but they're still allowing mobility. I can get to all those buckles even with my eyes closed. I can find them, clip them, no problems at all. Oh, and so this buckle right here on the crotch strap is called the scootering buckle a lot of times, so the front crotch buckle. So this is oftentimes just used for attaching to like a DPV scooter. But this one back here, that one, you want to make sure that it's just barely kind of below the wing, because let's do it on this side. I want to be able to clip stuff off to it, and I don't want it to be down here where every time I'm kicking, it's catching between my legs, but I also don't want it to be up underneath the wing where I can't get to it when that tank is holding that wing down. So I want it to just kind of poke out from underneath the wing, just maybe an inch or something like that below it, to where I can get to it. It's not out of the way, but I don't have to do some weird reach to get to it. So there you have it. That's the backplate and wing. Hope this helps. You guys enjoy diving.